Hi guys. Um, I just had some thoughts for you guys today that I wanted to share for a couple minutes. This has been kind of a crazy week for me. I actually had my Touchstone Crystal launch party. If you guys don't know me, I am a Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski lady. That's jewelry, awesome sparkly jewelry that I'm wearing some right now while I'm all dressed down in my workout clothes and my hat and everything. But I had some thoughts for you guys that have been kind of going through my head in the last few days, and some things that I've really been dealing with personally and internally. And I thought that it's probably something that I am not the only person who is having these kind of thoughts and these kind of struggles. So I wanted to share that, guys, with you guys. And what that really has to do with is failure versus flexibility. And I've been seeing this sort of Facebook post, this picture floating around a lot in the last couple months. And it says, there's a bunch of different variations, but it basically talks about like, one of them talks about when you feel like giving up, remember why you started. And some of the other ones talk about failing forward. And some of the other quotes, I mean, there's tons of them, and they all have to do with when you feel like you just want to quit and you want to throw in the towel, that you should just really dig your heels in and you should stick with it, and you should keep working even harder, and you should push harder, and you should just keep on the path that you're on, and you should keep moving forward, and that is the right thing to do when you have that urge to quit. And I want to talk about that urge a little bit, because I think that sometimes we bulldoze what are good emotions inside of us and good natural instincts that are built-in mechanisms in our gut and in our heart that can tell us when we're making good decisions and when we're making bad decisions. And sometimes, everyone gets discouraged. We get discouraged in our relationships. We get discouraged if you're a parent. You get discouraged raising your kids. You get discouraged in your job sometimes. You can get discouraged in all different kinds of circumstances in life. And, we have that urge to quote unquote quit. And a lot of people will just say, nope, shove that emotion down, back it up right there, and just plow forward and keep doing what you're doing. And you'll get past that feeling of quitting. And I want to talk about that fear of failure that comes along with that feeling, because sometimes that feeling is a red flag inside of us that is telling us that something isn't quite right in our life. Something isn't right in a relationship. Maybe you're buying a house and you have been trying to buy this house for months and months and months, and it's just not happening. And you really love that house, and you feel like it might be time to let go of that house and move on. And the advice that you keep getting is, no, you love that house. Remember, you love that house. Remember why you started that whole proceeding. Don't let go of that house. Keep fighting for it. And that can be admirable, and that can be a good decision sometimes. But maybe sometimes that gut feeling that you have is also a good internal mechanism telling you that you might need to take a step back and you might need to rethink that decision. And that doesn't mean that you failed in your attempt to get the house. That's not necessarily a failure. That could just be you having the wisdom to know that that wasn't the right path for you to continue forward on. And it was a good thing for you to let go of that and be open to what else might be in front of you and what else life might have for you. And so I just wanted to talk about that whole fear of failure that I think that we as human beings, and especially as women, struggle with in our lives, that we're so busy trying to please other people and live up to other people's expectations that we can stay in a lot of situations that are really unhealthy for us. Relationships that are not good for us, we can stay in them for a long time, way past that relationship has reached its expiration date, because we are worried about everybody who knows about that relationship looking at it as another failed relationship, to put on a notch on our wall for. We do it with jobs that are not fulfilling and that are not heading us toward where we actually want to be with our goals and what our end vision is, because we started that job and we're going to stick it through to the end no matter what happens and no matter how hard it gets. And, no matter what we encounter on that journey, we started that job. So we're going to do that job until we are laid in the grave. And it's okay to change your mind. It's okay that when you have that feeling in your gut that something isn't quite right about the situation that you're in, to take a step back and take stock of what's going on in your life. And don't let that fear of failure be what starts making big decisions for you in your life. Let yourself have permission to be flexible in the decisions, especially the big decisions that you're making in those relationships, in those important career decisions, in those big parenting decisions that we make with our kids. A lot of other people have said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting to get different results. And I think that sometimes we have to look at our situations and realize that it's not failure to take a step back and say, you know what I've been doing isn't working. What I've been trying is not getting me to the goals that I've actually set for myself. It might be a little insane that I've actually been trying the same exact thing over and over and over and over again in this relationship, in this job, in this parenting decision, and expecting to get a different result from the situation. So maybe it's time to take a step back, to let go of some things that were important to me at one time but are not right for my life anymore, and allow myself to move forward. You have permission to be happy in your life. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to change your mind and to let go of things that you have held on to for the wrong reasons. And it's okay to admit sometimes that when something doesn't feel right, you can let go of that and you can move on from that, and you can open yourself up to way bigger and better, more amazing things than you could have possibly imagined. So, remember the vision. Definitely remember why you started. That part of the Facebook post I really do agree with. Remember why you started, whatever it was that you started. And if that vision is still true for you, whether your vision with your job is financial security, or being able to move or buy a bigger house or provide something for your kids that you haven't been able to before, if that vision is still true for you, does it really matter if the vehicle to get you to that vision is different than the vehicle that you started in? Because I know if my vision is to get from New York to California, I am not going to crumble if I have to start on a motorcycle and then take a bus and then switch to a train and use a boat to cross a river at one point and then get back on a motorcycle of a different kind and then use a sedan for a little while, because eventually I'm going to get to California. And your dreams and your visions are the same. Don't get so hung up on the vehicle that you're using to get to where you want to be that you actually end up stalled on the side of the road, not going anywhere. So I hope that helps some of you guys. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot. Just don't be so afraid to fail that you stop moving forward in your life. Failure, is not something to be afraid of, but I think that failure is also something that it tries to disguise itself in a lot of other ways and a lot of other decisions in our lives. And it doesn't have to be failure. It can be a really, really huge victory for you in your personal life to take authority of your decision making and to take ownership of what you want from your life and to press onward, even if it doesn't look like what it looked like when you started the journey. So, bye guys. We'll talk again soon.